I've talked to you guys together twice before, and there is a good banter in there. But I want to. We can
No, we do.
fully,
I
you know,
know.
we can fully delve in. I have to say, I've watched the 4 episodes that were provided for season 3, and the thing that stuck with me most is the idea, Mike's horror at washing your hands before you eat a sandwich because you have the I think it's the finger flavor, he
The
says.
finger flavor. That's right.
Is
I
is that
think
you? Is that the script? What's the
no,
story?
that
Tell
was
me
a
about
script. That was a script. Chris. He had. He's got. We kind of got to this place where if we can get to a place where when people hear Mike say weird shit, that they just think it's not weird because it's coming from Mike. If we can get to that, then that's a victory. And I feel like some of the things he's saying now are now kind of being accepted by our audiences. That's just Mike being nuts. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, no one wants to eat a sandwich with dirty hands, but he has this, his way. I think he just sees everything he does as seminal. Like if someone was writing a book about him, it'd be a million pages long. You know what I mean? Because he's got all these little things that if the world just knew about, the world would be a better place. And I think that's kind of how he sees his little quirks. Yeah, not washing your hands before eating a sandwich was, yeah, that's pretty yuck.
do you have any other favorite pearls of wisdom from him?
You know what? This last one here, there's a little ad lib that I threw in right as we were walking out the diner when I was telling her about having to turn her head or whatever, and she was like, "Ow," and I was like, and she was like, "I don't want owl neck," and I'm like, "Everybody wants owl neck," you know what I mean? As we're walking out, and then when he says to Joseph, "You smell like a winner," it's just we have these little bitty things that we do that bring us a lot of humor. We hope the rest of the world finds it as funny as we do. But yeah, it's fun to live in this little land of quirkiness where if it's funny, we're gonna see if we can make it work. I get a lot of leeway, so I'm happy about that.
Since Mike doesn't usually find enough time to say nice things about Liv, what can you say about your co-star Elizabeth Bowen?
Oh my gosh, that Mike wouldn't be Mike without Deputy Liv. I think that, and I do mean that. I think that she is the vehicle that the audience has learned to see him through. And if she is accepting of his uniqueness, I think the audience is more accepting of his uniqueness. And I mean, when it comes to Liz, there's you rarely get opportunities to have a scene partner that you connect with so seamlessly. It's been that way since day one at the very first table read. We didn't meet before we read together, and we might have ad-libbed at the table read. We just have this. I use the example of Stockton and Malone, Batman and Robin. We have this kind of connection that serves our friendship really well and serves our characters in the show really well. Um, she's a keeper, man. He wouldn't be Mike without Liv.
We're also getting to see your characters go a little bit more into the sci-fi nature of this story, which obviously for Liv, I'm sure is exciting. I don't know how you, Corey, and also how you think Mike feels about getting into this sort of extraterrestrial domain.
Yeah, I think Mike is. I think Mike would be. He's skeptical, but he's also realistic. And at the end of season 2, where you had those fake cops show up at her house, that for him, I think, was an indicator of the depths of whatever is happening here, happening because that's not something that would just happen randomly. I think his antennas have perked up. However, you know, I don't think he buys into the alien aspect of it at all. I think that as a conspiracy theorist himself, I think he probably sees aliens as a great scapegoat for the government doing things that they want to blame on stuff. You know what I mean? And I don't know how well that's going to serve him in this particular instance. But if you were to take the show and ground it in the realm of reality and you have all of these weird things happening, I don't think the first thing on your mind would be aliens. If you might think like when they found the lake was poisoned and you're finding these little things. I think he understands that there's too much here to be coincidence, but I think he sees it as a conspiracy of a different kind. Certainly not aliens. Yeah. I think he'd be hard pressed to buy into that.
You follow any fan theories or just general enthusiasm towards your character?
I've heard people say they theorize Mike's an alien. Um, I think to myself, am I doing shit that weird? Do they think he's an alien too? Yeah, no, I mean, nah, I used to go on the fan boards a little more early on. But nah, I don't know. That's a fine line. You got to be careful inviting that type of stuff into your realm. Because I mean, as much as like you want the audience to enjoy what you're doing and be enthusiastic about the work that you're doing, I think if you're trying to write and work for the audience, you can be chasing your tail really, really quickly. Because everybody has a different opinion, everybody has a different idea, and ultimately, it's Chris's vision for these characters in conjunction with how we see them, and where the story's going, that really decide things. So I don't know. I used to read the message boards more, but I'm not on Twitter anymore. I left Twitter. I used to rock Twitter. I love Twitter, but I don't know about X. That's not my thing. So, but I'm on Threads. I don't know. It's like I'm at Burger King, not at McDonald's, but we're at Burger King. I don't know. I don't know. That's the only way I really connect with it.
I feel like Mike is definitely still on X. That's where he lives
Oh,
and spends most of his time.
oh, most definitely. I think he probably has a couple of shadow accounts too. But all of those shadow accounts he uses to praise his own posts. So, he just goes on to one of his other things. It's like, wow, Mike, you're a genius. I love the way you just broke all of that down. And then, no, I love him more than that. He's got this whole stack of fake accounts maybe that he uses to boost himself up. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if he's got time for it. He might not be technically savvy like that. He didn't understand how Grinder and Tinder worked in the first season. What's the difference between Tinder and Grinder? He's flipping. He's like, oh, I see. Yeah, but yeah, that's Mike.
It is always
That's Mike.
always a lot of fun to talk about Mike with you, Corey. I look forward to seeing the rest
No
of
doubt,
season three
Abe.
and talking to you in the
February
future.
14th on USA and Syfy, and then streaming on Peacock, and starting February 13th, season 1 and 2 are on Netflix. So check us out, and tell some friends and have them tell some friends. You know what I'm saying?
And just wait until you meet Mike if you haven't encountered him yet. He's quite a trip.
Thanks, Abe.
All right, thanks, Corey. Take care.
Be well, brother. Take care, man.